the budget seems to be pretty wicked, man.
Normal sana,
the way we
mzee.
see it right now so far. No, itakuwa very, very painful. But, we do this every year. We make a lot of noise, and then nothing happens, and it's passed, and life goes on. But the opposition, led by co-principal Eugene Wamalwa, is saying this time the squeeze is too tight. What do you say, Mahesh?
The finance bill 2024 is the most wicked finance bill ever. I was telling the people in Busia that the Swahilis have a saying, ukistajabu ya Musa utaona ya Firauni. So last year, tulistajabu ya Musa, that was Finance Bill 2023.
Yeah.
But Finance Bill 2024, ni ya Firauni. It's worse than that. And the most wicked because it spares no one. And it taxes everything and anything that moves. From, if they see the car, hiyo ni ushuru. They see anything moving the border, the tires on the border, ni ushuru. Even the wheelbarrow, their own symbol.
Yeah.
Those tires now, the taxes are going up on wheelbarrows. So even those who voted for the wheelbarrow are in trouble. If you go to Gikomba, people are crying. But what is even more shocking is that even the wheels on wheelchairs, even the persons with disability are not spared by Zakayo and his taxes. Even kids being born today, diapers. The minute a child leaves the mother's womb, they cry. But this time the cry is going to be different because they'll start crying about Zakayo and his taxes. You feel the pain from birth to death.
Good Lord.
Because as you know, on IDs, on birth certificates, on marriage, even death, it's becoming very expensive in Kenya. I think we're living in very challenging times.
And let's face it, Moishesh, we get to this stage, the week of the budget or a couple of weeks, public participation, all that stuff. People make a lot of noise and nothing happens.
That's true. Last year, by the way, the Finance Bill 2023 was one that was subjected to public participation more than any other since independence. And over 90% of Kenyans rejected it. They said, we don't want this, we don't want that. But what did they do? They ignored. I believe even this. Now the Finance Committee has just concluded the public participation. Very soon the bill is coming to Parliament.
Yeah.
And you have seen already the MPs being called to State House to be given directions that that finance bill must pass even without changing a comma. What does that mean? It means our Parliament has been captured. The state captured Parliament. Yeah. And people are not able to represent the people who send them there, who are feeling the pinch and the pain out in the villages, the borders, the mamambogas, who actually elected these guys.
Yeah.
So we have a problem.
What power lies in the hands of the electorate? Is there anything, legally speaking, that can be done to counter that parliamentary move?
The most powerful three words of our Constitution, and I was the last Minister for Justice, I can tell you this, is we the people. We the people. Because we are the people in whom the sovereign power rests. We have just donated it to our members of parliament to represent us. We've donated it to the judiciary and the executive. So if it turns out that the people are not being properly represented, they have the powers to recall these people and send them home. And this is where we want to sensitize Kenyans. Wherever you are, call your MP, express your position on this matter, and tell them we are watching you. I was in Western recently, and I were telling the people are aware that in Busia County, 5 members of parliament voted no. They stood with the people. But they know the 2 members who did not. And they are waiting for them. You go to Kakamega County, there were 10 MPs who stood with us said no, but there are 2 MPs who betrayed the people and said yes. In Trans Nzoia, there are 3 members of parliament who say no, but there are 2 who betrayed the people. So they are known. You go to Vihiga, only 1 member who said no. And we are saying a time is coming, Chuma Chao, Kimotoni, but also going forward to cure this so that public participation is not just, an exercise in futility. Yeah. There is a pending bill, and I want to urge members of parliament to make sure that they prioritize that bill so that they give true meaning to the word public participation and the intent of our Constitution. Because under Article 10 of our Constitution, public participation is part of our national values. So it's not a favor from the state to the people. It's actually a constitutional imperative. So what we want to urge this parliament to do, one thing they must do, so that in future we have public participation having meaningful meaning, it must be put into the law. That bill must be fast-tracked so that people are given actually powers through that participation, and their views carry the weight and they're actually implemented, so that the people representing them are able to express their views, not that of an individual who calls them to an old colonial house and gives them instructions.
Absolutely. You know what's really sad, Mahesh, is the fact that we were just reading this morning, school feeding program has been deducted, 2.4 billion shillings. School feeding.
Look at that, Jeff. I mean, we're talking about kids.
Yeah.
Many kids now actually are not able to have 3 meals a day. Yeah. Many of them, especially with now bread. You know, they're raising everything, even on bread. You know, just that basic thing. A kid gets up in the morning, daddy, mommy, wapi chai, wapi mkate, before they go to school.
Yeah.
Many families will not be able to provide that. If this finance bill goes through and we raise taxes on bread, so it means when they get to school, they only hope. Many of them can't go back home because there's nothing to eat. So that school feeding program is very, very important for the health of the child and also retention of these kids in school. But how do you say you don't have money to feed kids, and here you are splashing money on a royal jet of 200 million? How does that make sense to you?
It doesn't add up. And then the offices, Deputy President will get what, 4.8
4 something billion.
Yes.
And 5 something billion for the
State House.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, they are going up expenditure by the big boys.
Yeah.
Yet the little children are suffering. And Jesus said, suffer not the little children. And these guys call themselves Christians.
Yeah.
They carry Bibles every day, you know, to different churches. But they're totally insensitive. The cries of the children of Kenya, the borders, the mamambogas who are suffering, the business people whose businesses are closing, and even investors. A lot of investors are shutting down and moving to other countries, Jeff. This is a crisis.
When you speak to people around the country, are they listening? Are they aware of what's going on?
As with the Archbishop Ole Sepit of the Anglican Church, he spoke very, very clearly. The Catholic bishops have spoken very, very clearly. When you talk to the manufacturers, the Chamber of Commerce people, they have all given their views. But you have one man called Zakayo who does not want to listen or to hear. So the power rests with the people. We don't have to wait for Jesus to tell Zakayo to come down the tree. The people have the powers to bring down Zakayo from the tree, and that's the only way we're going to bring down taxes.
President anasema agenda yake ni ku make sure that tumetoka kwa shackles za indebtedness yenye ame inherit from former regimes, and that taxation is one of the ways that is chosen at fulfill the agenda. Yes. Is that a step in the right direction, or how do we ensure as a country tayari tushagonga hiyo threshold ya debt? Yes. How do we ensure that we tackle the issue of indebtedness without actually hurting the people?
He was part of the cabinet. I was in that cabinet with him. These decisions were made together. And at no single time did he ever oppose. So to get out and blame Uhuru Kenyatta, Uhuru messed up. You are his principal assistant. The rest of us in cabinet were under him. So there's a lot of hypocrisy. But also look at what he said, that we must raise taxes so that we don't borrow. He has raised taxes, yes, but he has borrowed more than Uhuru Kenyatta did, given the period, within this period of 2 years. Then what is even more saddening is the fact that the wastage of these taxes, when you look at how they are spending this money. And that's why Kenyans were very angry when they heard about this 200 million jet. Yeah. And you know the way, the casual manner he responded to that issue. It's as if it was a non-issue. I didn't spend that much. I had some friends in Dubai. Why can't he board KQ as we saw his deputy do? His predecessors. Uhuru Kenyatta. I served with Uhuru. Jeff would go to the US with Uhuru and would board KQ. Sometimes we would fly to Dubai. Then from there, he would now take the commercial flight. Why can't he do that? So when Kenyans are questioning why you are squeezing them so hard, because of these taxes, then they have equally a right to question the wastage of these taxes. They equally have a right when they see the rampant corruption in this government. They have every right to question that and to even seek the impeachment of a minister where there are fake fertilizers that have gone to the farmers. The buck stops with him. And when the minister is brought for him, he's protected. So we are basically becoming like, that government of Alibaba and his 40 thieves. Alibaba used to protect his gang. And we see the same thing. There is corruption. There is a rampant stealing of public funds, wastage. And when the people raise their voices through their representatives, he's protecting his gang.
At the same time, someone once said you cannot tax a nation into prosperity.
You cannot. And that's what he's trying to do, and it's not going to work.
What's the best approach?
The best approach would be, first of all, to stop the wastage. When he came in, he was talking about austerity. Where has that gone? He's even going on to create more offices. You're saying you don't have money to feed kids in our schools. Yet you're creating positions for CSs. Your cronies who lost elections. He is so determined. The matter went to court. The court said it was. He went back again. And now as we speak, he's forced his way. Very soon you hear him announcing new offices of CASs being appointed. So, creating a bigger burden on the shoulder of the taxpayers and denying them essential services. Many places now, schools have not received capitation. There's a crisis in the education sector. You go to the counties, they're crying. Members of parliament, bursaries are delayed. Where is the money going? I even heard Uhuru saying, for 2 years, his money has not reached him. Where has this money gone? Then he says he's forming a committee to look at this matter of the former president.
What's a committee for
God's
what?
sake, follow the law. Why do you need a committee on a matter that is provided for the law, by the law for the former president? It's not a charity. Uhuru is not a charitable case. He is provided for in the law as the fourth president, and the dignity of that office requires that it be respected and it be upheld.
Experts are saying right now.
That is correct.
That reading will be over 4 trillion shillings.
Yes.
How are we gonna sustain this?
The manner in which they're overtaxing Kenyans, you can only tax to a certain level.
Level.
Beyond that, it becomes counterproductive. And you can see this manifesting itself in the missed targets. Because even a cow, if you squeeze too much, then the milk stops coming and it will be blood now. And you'll be killing that cow. So that is how you see they are falling short of their revenue targets. Experts are telling them they need to review this. But of course, they're also enslaved to the IMF. And, there has to be a balance. Yes.
You as the opposition now, because, the opposition that we've always known, Baba, has set his eyes on other things. And we all know, he's gunning for that job at the AU. So there's the rest of you. Are you making enough noise?
Jeff, we are, and you're going to hear us loud and clear on this issue of finance bill. We have been consistent with Honorable Kalonzo, all our leaders. We've been out there. We're mobilizing our members of parliament. We've had our parliamentary group meetings. Last year, we had 88 of our members saying no. They stood with Kenyans. And there are some of the Kenya Kwanza who actually stood with Kenyans. There's a young man in Bungoma, a place called Kapchai, called Kalasinga Majimbo. That man said no. And of course, he's had a lot of threats from his boss. But would like to see more leaders stand with the people. Because there are 176 members who are called to State House, and they went and voted. Some of them, when they went to their constituencies, then they saw KRA fellows coming to look at the avocados, counting the avocado. I remember the member of Gatanga, my good friend Wakili Murio. He said, I didn't know this, let's not do this. Let's not allow this. But you are the one who went to Parliament to pass that law. How do you tell your people Wasilipe and you're the one who passed the law? Some are saying, it's like the Bible, even if you're a good pastor, some verses you might miss some verses. You can't know all the verses. But we are saying you are the people's representatives. You are the last line of defense for the people of Kenya. You, the member of parliament. unless you exercise your duty, you are letting down Kenyans. And the time is coming when Kenyans are now wisened up. They are very sensitized. Finance bill last year, the public participation itself showed the interest. This one has been as high, but they also be watching how you vote. So if you're a member of parliament, this is your time. Redeem yourself if you voted yes last time because you are called to State House. And represent, stand with the people who elected you, not the person who calls you to the State House.
Akisema, we are watching you. These are the electorates. Sasa wanasema tunaona pitisheni mtachange, which means people are tired.
Yes.
You know, the other thing someone else was telling us the other day was, increasing bread by 10 shillings.
Yes.
You know what? People have been in an uproar, right?
Yes.
So then they'll get on top of the Land Cruisers and say, okay, ni munataka tukate.
Tumetoa.
Mkate peke yake alafu
Tumetoa.
wangare na hiyo sasa.
And they forget everything else.
When you look at the other deeper issues, like for motorbikes, if you're increasing excise duty by 10%, what does that mean? For that border, you said, ile serikali ya border, it means they will not be able to afford. First of all, the fuel that you doubled. You actually raised from 8% VAT to 16%. And this thing, when Ruto was in Bungoma, he passed a place called Chwele, and he told the people, now I've brought you Madaraka Day to Bungoma here, I want you all to come. Watu wakamuliza wapi fare? So the guy was mad. He said, what do you mean? Hii kitu ingekuwa Nyayo Stadium, I brought you here to Bungoma. You want me to carry you to and do it? Now, what Ruto didn't understand is that when he doubled VAT on fuel, the border that will carry someone from Chwele to Bungoma, they were charging about 50 shillings. The matatu has now doubled to actually tripled to 150 because their matatus wanaitwa sambaza, when you squeeze more than 4, it's 150, but when you go the normal way, it's 200. So Ruto does not understand the effect of doubling VAT, that someone from Chwele going to Bungoma is a problem. People cannot even go to the district hospital, county hospital in Bungoma is a problem because of what you raised. So you might do the bread thing, but as long as you are retaining that excise duty on borders, on tires, on edible oils, meaning the cooking, how watu wa mjengo ikifika saa 7 jamaa anakunja chapo 3 na maragwe. Now that maragwe is going to double. That chapati is going to go up. That mandazi, now uji that he will take at break time, akiwa kwa mjengo, he will not be able to afford. And at home, he can't even buy bread, tea for his kids as they're going to school. So we are reaching a very dangerous point over taxation.
There's going to be a breaking point.
Yes. Even any rubber man has elasticity. I think Kenyans are almost getting there. I liked Regiji's boarding of the KQ.
Carrying his own luggage.
They call it the pride of Africa.
Yes.
Therefore, it should also be the pride of Kenya. Kenya should be the pride of Kenya.
Yes.
And the pride of every Kenyan leader and any Kenyan who is patriotic.
But Blandani amengoje public outcry on the UAE jet thing for him to act.
Right.
So,
and amepanda one man, one bag.
No, one seat.
And one seat on KQ. Badala a royal jet. 45 people. And 200 million. Ile tunanyima watoto wa shule chakula. There is a problem, Jeff Igunza. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.